I was asking if the cover up of the Giants was more so to suppress this event because
Oh yeah, hey, you got to understand, guys. I apologize, but you ask me questions, I hit those tangents. I just go in another area
no, I
sometimes.
love it. I
Hey, let me
love
answer.
it.
Let me answer your Giants question. All right. Now we're back on Giants. The vapor canopy is the reason why humans were growing to astonishing sizes. Now they did not refer to themselves as giants. They wouldn't have. Just
Right.
like just like all three of us would not consider ourselves as giants, but if a new ecosphere in a new environment was to impose itself upon our reality next week, and all of a sudden humans started being born faster, growing faster, but they only grew 3 feet high. We wouldn't consider ourselves as titans, but they would look at us as like we were. This is the
Right.
situation we have with the ancient world. Those who lived under the vapor canopy were titanic in size. They were titans. When the vapor canopy collapsed, their offspring were gigantic, but they weren't titans. You understand?
Yes,
After
sir.
the vapor came, this is when all the sun calendars began. All these ancient calendars that start mentioning the sun, this is why the sun is the very last god to enter the Sumerian pantheon. This is why the sun, Horus, is the last god to enter into the Egyptian pantheon. All the other Egyptian and Sumerian gods are ancient. In Babylon, all the gods are ancient, but the sun suddenly appears and they got to give him a name. They call him Shamash. So in
Right.
Sumer, he's Utu. And later on, in Akkad, they combined him as Utu Shamash, but it was the sun, the very last god to enter the pantheon. The reason the sun is the last to enter the pantheon is because during the vapor canopy period, it was all goddess venerating cultures. It was all goddess venerate. It was a matriarchal society. Women were in control. They held the power, the political powers. They had we're not talking about totems or societies. You can get the idea of people being primitive before the cataclysm out of your mind, because by all the evidence we find from the Sanskrit and the earlier Sumerian text, these people were technologically advanced. They lived a sedentary life. They had already evolved far beyond the need to wage war. They had technologies that were absolutely fascinating, and that's why after the cataclysm, after the collapse, all knowledge was then recorded on stone tablets, because they got the idea from the earlier civilization that recorded everything on technologically advanced tablets. There's many different ways to convey information, and to make a stone tablet, which is heavy as hell, and
Right.
you gotta cook it and glaze it, and first you gotta write it to it. It's very difficult, but to them, they were actually applying the principles of sympathetic magic, because they believed if they continued to write knowledge on tablets, just like their stories about the tablets of destinies of the gods, because the gods had a tablet in their hand that they kept in a little bag. And when they pulled that tablet out,
No.
everybody had to back up. They couldn't interfere. And that god, that Anuna, you call him an Anunnaki, whatever, would do things with that tablet. And this is why it was the tablet of destinies. They moved hardware, made machines do things. They had their own Bluetooth, their own Wi-Fi. They communicated long distances from each other. And every bit of this was amazing to the Sumerians, because the Sumerians were not the Anuna. The Sumerians were the black-headed people. This is what they called themselves. And they regarded the Anuna, who were bearded and tall and of very pale, like gemstone eyes, alabaster skin. Later on, they were conveyed as if they had blue skin, but this is coming from a Neolithic people with black hair, black eyes, long straight hair, and they regarded these people as gods because of the state of their technology. And after the cataclysm, these people wanted to emulate the gods, but they didn't have the infrastructure. So that's why we found over 500,000 cuneiform texts in logograms in cuneiform, Sumerian, Akkadian, Rashamric, Babylonian, and it's all in tablets found from Ur and Ugarit and Nimrod and Nineveh. All throughout Assyria, we have found stone tablets simply because the ancients knew the gods recorded their information on tablets as well. It's
That's
full.
that purse they had, right, Jason? The purse the Anunnaki had.
Yeah, that was just holding a technologically advanced device, no different than our cell phones now. That's
Wow.
it. This was the tablet of destinies to the ancient world. Remember, in the eschatology, we are given patterns Eschatology is very interesting because it's prophecies that are supporting a fact, and that fact is what is being predicted has already happened before. So in eschatology, here we have phones today. It's nothing, but in the eschatological paradigm, we are told that in the last days shall be like the days of Noah. So what we're experiencing today with technologically advanced civilizations and aerial aircraft and submarines, and a problem between the surface world and the underworld controllers, everything is happening all over again. We are heading toward, in the simulation, we are heading toward an apocalypse and a tribulation, an unveiling and a judgment and a reset. We're heading forward into the very thing that ancient times, a technologically advanced civilization was also heading toward. We are heading toward the exact cataclysm that ended their civilization. We're in a loop. This is what my channel is about, showing that the entire historical record is basically like a computerized template of events that humanity has gone through multiple times. And at the end of each revolving, at the end of each prophecy cycle, where all these calendars become complete, there is a small window of opportunity where a lot of people who have actually matured, who have actually realized the world for what it is, it's time for them to go. This construct cannot operate with those who have awakened. At the end of this cycle, they're ejected because they're going to contaminate the program. This is a
Right.
loop. This is a loop we're in, and this loop is basically what all the religions of the ancient world were trying to describe. And
So
the giants
all
do.
of us will be shot up out of here. Me, you, and Donut, right? We're up out of here.
Yeah, listen, I don't believe it's something that you can strive for. I think it's something that you're just going to be. I believe that the recognition of a phenomenon absolutely makes you a participant. This is another fundamental tenet of my channel. I try to tell people all the time. I reveal some very harrowing shit. But at the same time, I'm always explaining to people that what you fear, you participate in.
Yep.
So you must look at these things objectively. So if you objectively look at things that are negative without the emotional investment, you're not going to participate them. Reality will always commiserate. It will reflect back to you as circumstances the very things that you expect to happen. Therefore, you need to be aware of what the collective is going to go through, but on your own personal path, you want to be the one that gets ejected. So that's what you think about. What's this next world going to be like? Because
Right.
you're not going to be the same. All your memories are going to be returned to you for every life sim that you've lived in this entire loop that you've been here. But once you finally wake up and make the recognition that, look, man, I don't belong here, then you have basically accepted the tenets of ancient religions, which teach you that you're a pilgrim. They teach you that you're a passerby. They teach you that you're on a path, that this world is not the destination. All these ideas are found in ancient religions. They've just been masked, and all these cultural attachments have been added to them, to where these people now have faith in all these things that just have no substance whatsoever. The idea, the common denominator between all these faiths, is that you're a journeyman. You're not here to build. You're here to learn and pass through. And once somebody has basically surrendered to that, and you realize, damn, man, this has been a hell of a learning experience. I can't wait to see everything that I remember from all my past lifetimes. You're no longer of service to the simulacrum. You're no longer of service to AIX. Now you're a problem, because it only has a finite amount of energy to control the collective. So any errants that are in the system are ejected. And this is what you need to do. You need to regard yourself as basically a malfunction in a system of controlled chaos. Once you hold yourself as a malfunction, and that you are not conforming to anything around you, the system will eject you. You're not going to loop back in. You're going to be gone. And right now it's going to quarantine personalities to the side, and we see pictures of this in the Bible. And there are actual imagery, like in the Apocalypse in the book of Revelation, of giant altars that God can see into and see all the souls that have already been ejected, and they're waiting. Hey man, when are you going to open this door so we can go? I mean, these conversations are found in the book of Revelation. So
Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah, man, it's people have been doing this for a very long time, way before I was born, and people have understood this. But the elite have accepted a different role. Some of here's the situation. The elite do what they do for the simple fact is they knew we were in a construct a very long time ago. And I believe that many of them were benefactors and decided to help humanity, but they've already moved on. And they're the ones that left us all this information to find. They're gone though. But the ones that stayed behind, the ones that are nefarious, these elite in the underworld that are controlling everything. They go to their underground facilities. And because I'm telling you now, Bill Gates is not a member of the elite. He's a puppet. Elon Musk is not a member of the elite. He's a puppet. Bezos is not a member of the elite. He's a puppet. The elite are unknown. We've never seen their faces. They do not come to the surface.
None of the presidents, they're puppets too.
Yeah, they're all puppets. Yeah, every one of them. So what we have here is a situation of a race of people who have basically signed the contract. They have decided, okay, look, we understand this is a construct, but in order for us to benefit, if we've already decided that we're going to stay here. We don't want to get ejected. We want to go ahead and benefit, and the only way they can benefit is to help the artificial intelligence system that controls this construct to control the people. Because the more people that are corralled into belief systems and political duality, the less energy the AI needs to expend in trying to control them. That's what it's all about. You understand, every technology system, no matter how sophisticated, is still subject to the laws of diminishing returns. It is still subject to the law of conservation of energy. And because these two laws right here make every artificial intelligence system have to rely on subordinates to help it with its control systems. That's who the elite are.
Wow. That's interesting. Dude, you got a lot. You got a lot of knowledge, Jason. And we got 894 people in here from all three of our platforms.
Yeah, make sure you smash that like button.
Only 240 y'all hit the like.
That like button, guys.
It's free,
hit the like
guys.
button.